All right. Well, I don't always talk about this, but it's worth talking about today because on my notes, it says that today is Rare Disease Day. And if anybody wonders how rare of a breed yours truly is, I guess we could say I'm one in 10,000 to 40,000 newborns. That's right. One out of 10,000 to 40,000 newborns are born with the condition called Vater syndrome. Now, I don't always talk about this because that's not my life. I don't live in that condition. I have Vater's, but in 90% of the time, Vater's doesn't have me. But I figured on Rare Disease Day, give a little love to the adapting feature of One Leg Up with Alex Garrett and tell you that yes, Vater is as rare a disease as I am sometimes feeling like a rare breed on this earth. And the first 6 hours, my mom will tell you, were very difficult when they were assessing exactly what I had with organs out of the body, just a couple, as well as the one leg, as well as no way to do number two, if you will. And all of those causes, minus, thank God, the cardiac side of Vader hit me in childbirth, I guess you'd say. But for the doctors who were able to scope out that Vader, for the NICU doctors that spent those days, 77 days, getting me right, those first few hours, making sure that I could be here today to talk to you on Rare Disease Day in 2024, thank you. Means the world to now talk about it because, hey, you know what? You might have a family member that has Vader disease. And my thought is don't be scared of it. If you have a child who has Vader syndrome, I would say go with it. Help him or her live their best life and love on them as much as my parents did and do. I want to get to some more on Vaders because maybe you want to know more. According to the rarediseases.org, I'm going to put this up on the page. The acronym VADR originally included vertebral, anal, tracheoesophageal. I've had esophageal atresia up here as well. Radial and renal. I have one kidney. Anomalies, and it was subsequently redefined for cardiac, limb defects, one leg, and other radial normalities. Vectoral is currently the most frequented used term of this. It's not hereditary, and it's only occurring in a single individual in any given family. There are resources, though. How about that? To help you in coping with a child's diagnosis, in living with this diagnosis to make sure that you might have the diagnosis of Vader, but it doesn't have you. It doesn't have you. That's what I want to tell you today on Rare Disease Day. We may be labeled as having this condition and that condition and this condition, but at the end of the day, are we overcoming that condition? Are we living out our best life with this condition, monitoring it, taking care of it? Could we do better? I sure as hell can do better. But don't think for one moment, if you were diagnosed with any kind of rare disease, you can't live with it because I believe you can. I believe you can still live your life. You've just got to be informed about it. You've got to do the research about it. Like my mom has tons of research. And now was the day we didn't have Google. I mean, the 90s, we didn't have a Google. She had to talk to parents. She had to talk to doctors. She had to go out there and find the resources herself. And aren't we all glad she did? And aren't I blessed that she did? that was a huge part of this 32-year journey continuing. There are connections like the EATEF Child and Family Sport Connection Inc. at info@eatef.org. There's a thing called the Pull Through Network. I've never heard of that until just researching it now. Birth defect research for children. Staff at birthdefects.org. So there are even the Oley Foundation, Oley, OELEY Foundation, Bishop J at mail.amc.edu. So if you feel like you're alone in this process, in this journey, and maybe you haven't heard from others who have VODR, I want to tell you today, you are not alone. And if you're watching this, maybe you were meant to watch this. If you're listening to this on the podcast, maybe you were meant to listen to this today. Maybe you have a rare disease that freaks you the F out. Maybe you have a rare disease that you feel is incurable. And maybe we shouldn't look for a cure per se, but look for ways to adapt to what we have. The colostomy, the biggest adaptation that I could ever be thankful that they decided to do. Yeah, it might leak at times. Yeah, it might be a pain in the ass, pun intended, I guess. But at the end of the day, it saved my life. And it saved thousands of other kids' lives and adults' lives. I don't believe I was put on this earth and my parents didn't take the time to raise me to just soak in my story and not tell it. I will never identify as someone with a rare disease, but I have something that one in about 40,000 babies are born with. So when you ask if I'm a rare breed and you say I'm a rare breed or think I'm a rare breed, it's rarer than you think. And I'm proud of that on the Alex Garrett Podcast Network.